You are listening to the Yummy Mummy Podcast, episode number 107.
Welcome to the Yummy Mummy Podcast, where you will learn brand new and shockingly different tools to lose weight for the last time. And now, here's your host, certified life and weight loss coach, Laura Conley.
Hello, Yummy Mummies. This podcast is going to be so good because it digs into the subtleties of weight loss that you're probably unsure of. We talk about why you have to be willing to be wrong in order to be skinny. Now, remember, my definition of skinny is weighing what one wants, semicolon, free. So you are going to want to, you're going to want to soak this episode up, because you probably didn't even know that you had to be willing to be wrong in order to weigh what you want, and why that can be hard. And I'm going to take you through step by step exactly how to want to be wrong and what you're going to want to be wrong about. Okay, so get your pen and paper out. I mean, not really if you're driving. It's totally fine. But in the meantime, little fun fact, I'm recording the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, and we are going to have the best Thanksgiving ever. I'm so excited. It's so fun to get texts and DMs from my clients like, oh my gosh, I can't believe there's no drama. I can't believe that I'm actually enjoying the holidays. I can't believe that I just get to wear what I want and not be a big stress ball about what I'm going to eat and how I'm going to get rid of all this weight in January. And I don't want us to get through anything. Can you imagine we're on our deathbeds? You guys know I love to talk about the deathbed. Can you imagine we're on our deathbeds and we're like, yep, I just got through it. I did it. I got through it. Why not want to do it? Why not enjoy it? We're going to do it anyways. We're going to do life anyways. Why not enjoy it? I have a lot of takeaways that I will be dripping out to you over the next several weeks, as I just came back from Phoenix, Arizona with my coach, Brooke Castillo. It was fucking awesome. She's just the best. I mean, she's wild. She's wild and she's amazing. And she's the real freaking deal. And I am here for it. One of my favorite takeaways, I should do a whole podcast on this, was she asked the question, like, what are you hiding? What is something that you're being secretive about? Where are you managing people's thoughts and emotions around who you are? I just thought that was fascinating. We'll talk about that later. A client testimonial coming from my client. I didn't even reach out for this testimonial. Those are like the most fun testimonials to get, because sometimes I will reach out after the Yummy Mummy experience is over and say, hey, do you guys want to submit a testimonial? And they will. But my client, Megan W., she wrote to me and all the Yummy Mummies, and she says, Laura, you don't know this, but today is our 1-year anniversary. This was like a week or two ago. And she goes, 1 year ago today, one of my best friends and I were having a mommy-daughter weekend together, which was so super fun, by the way. And I'm noticing not only how great she looks, but also how she is so refreshed, confident, at ease, happy, all the things. So I ask her, what's up? And she tells me all about Laura and the Yummy Mummy experience and the model. So while our daughters are giving each other makeovers and doing fashion shows, she talks me through all these incredible tools I have never heard of otherwise. That day, I took this picture. So she showed this picture to our Slack group, which, by the way, you guys, the Yum Mum community is just the end all be all. It's the thing that people are afraid of, and they're like, oh, community. I don't really want to do that, but it ends up being everybody's favorite. So she showed this picture from a year ago of her and her daughter. And she says, that day I took this picture, thought really mean thoughts about myself, and decided to make a change. Throughout November and December, I did a podcast deep dive and Instagram stalking and got on the wait list. And in January, broke into cold sweats when I clicked submit to join the Yummy Mummy experience. I love that she's speaking to that, you guys, because it is scary to join the Yummy Mummy experience. You're like, oh my God, am I really worth this? Am I really going to do it? I could be spending this on my kids, right? It takes a leap of faith. It takes some courage. She says, now 1 year later, I've lost 50 pounds at my diet brain, and I've gained so much confidence and ease and tools to tackle anything that comes along. I'm in a little bit of awe with all of this. She says, "Thank you, Laura. I know you're going to tell me I did it, and that's true, but I couldn't have done it without you. So grateful for this journey and all I've learned and gained, and you." Okay, so I want you to see yourself in that. This is possible for you. You could be writing that to me. Relate to yourself. You could be writing that to me and you and all the yummy mummies next year. Seriously, this is for you. Yes, I'm talking to you. If you're like, she's not talking to me, I'm talking to you. I am. I feel you. I'm talking to you. Receive it. Let's go. 2023, you guys, it's for you. It's your turn. Come on. All right. So that's a little client comment. I want to talk to you. Let's dive into our episode of, do you want to be right or do you want to be skinny? So in order to lose weight for the last time, you're going to have to be willing to be wrong. But why? It doesn't seem like that really makes sense at face value. Like, why am I going to have to be wrong? Like, what am I going to have to be wrong about? The reason you're going to have to be wrong is because you're going to be gently shifting your identity from somebody who has just always not weighed what they've wanted to weigh, or from somebody who's always yo-yoed. Like, this was my identity before, right? Like, this is just who I am. I just yo-yo. I just gain the 15 and then lose the 15 and then gain the 15 and then I'm like in hedonism and eating all the things that I want whenever I want, meanwhile feeling like ass. And then I'm going to be like starving myself. This was literally my identity. So we have to be willing to let go of some of our identities and step into this new identity of, hey, I lost weight for the last time. This is who I am now. And that can be really jarring for us. And it doesn't seem like it should be that jarring. It's like, this is what we want. We want to be skinny. We want to weigh what we want to weigh. We want to be at our natural weight, right? So it doesn't seem like, oh, this is going to be so hard. But you guys, your brain is wired to keep you the same. Your brain is wired to stay in the familiar. It doesn't care if it's at a disservice to what you want. It cares about staying the same because that to your lower brain equals safe. And that's your lower brain's job, is to keep you safe, to keep you the same. No risks. Your lower brain thinks that you live in caves and that we have to eat all the things because we don't know when food is going to be readily available. We have to stay the same, right? Can't be shifting anything because that could mean danger. So just notice this. You have to be willing to be wrong about who you have been, about who you are. So I'm going to name some identities and you can see if that is part of who you are. And as I'm going through this list, I will also share some new identities you can start to adopt without completely dropping the old identity. So it's like a gentle massage into the new identity. And as I'm talking, I also want you to notice, is that me? Maybe. Could it be me a little bit? Yeah. Ooh, that's sparking another identity that I have. So just be in curiosity and wonder. You don't have to change your identity right now, but let's just get curious and see what's out there. Okay, so you might have to let go of, I am like the fun/funny friend, but I'm like the chunky fun/funny friend. Like, I'm the one who's like always down to have like a good time in quotes, right? And a good time equals overeating, ordering all the appetizers, all the desserts, all the drinks, everything. Like, that's who I am. I'm that friend. Well, I can't let go of that friend because of being that friend, because then maybe I'll lose all my friends, right? You see how your brain could interpret that as risky or dangerous. Your lower brain doesn't want to lose all your friends. Your lower brain's job is to keep you in the tribe, because if you stay in the tribe, guess what? Guess what? You don't get kicked out of the tribe. Can't get kicked out of the tribe because that means no food, no shelter. Now, we can just remind our lower brains that we actually don't live in primal and primitive times. We live in 2022, 2023, whenever you're listening to this. So you're going to have to be wrong. You're going to have to shift this identity, right? But it's okay. It is safe to shift this identity, to let go of being that friend. Your friends will still be your friends. They will still love you. And if you have those random one or two that won't, did you really want to be their friend anyways? If they're going to drop you because you don't eat mozzarella sticks? I'm like, yeah, you were supposed to go a while ago. It's like, oh, thank God I'm finding this out that you weren't my real true friend. So could you drop the I'm the fun/funny but chunky friend who's always down to overeat? It doesn't mean you don't get to still be the fun friend, the funny friend. It doesn't mean you don't have this vibrant social life. In fact, you'll have a more vibrant social life because you'll actually feel vibrant from the inside out. It doesn't mean you can't go out to eat, right? So you don't have to let go of that whole identity. It's just the part of it that's not serving you. What about, are you the mom that is always baking? Are you always baking for your kids? And maybe you attach some meaning to this, that means you're a good mom. Or like you're like your mom, or you're doing it like society wants you to. Now, here's the thing. Guess what? You can still bake. What? You could still be a baker. You can still make all the cookies for all the cookie sales. You don't have to eat them. So I always remind my clients, I will teach you how to bake and not eat all the dough so that you can weigh what you want to weigh. It's amazing. You can still bake if you want to bake. Now, a lot of us are baking because we want to eat the dough. And we're just telling us, oh no, I have to do this for my kids for the bake sale, da da da. No, you want to eat the dough, right? But if you genuinely love the act of baking or being with your kids while baking, you can still do that. I will teach you how. So that's what I mean when I'm saying you don't have to drop the entire identity. It's just the part of the identity that's not serving you. So cool. What about like this identity, like, oh, I just have a sweet tooth. Like this is just who I am. I just need to have something sweet after every meal. It's just I am a sweet person. It's just who I am. It's just a thought, you guys. It's not like actually who you are. Like your DNA is not like imprinted with sweet tooth. You don't actually have one. It's just a thought that you've thought over and over and over again. If it's serving you, keep it. If it's not serving you, let's let go of that thought over time and instead adopt the identity of, oh, I eat food for what it's for, which is fuel. Yeah, sometimes I still enjoy some sweets, but not all the time. Not at a detriment to my goals, to what I want to create. What about, weight loss is just really hard for me. Like, I'm a little bit broken. Like, it's really hard. Like, I just lose weight like really slow. Like, does your weight happen to you? So what I'm talking about, and stay open with me on this one, because this one is a little hard to swallow. I'll give it to you. Do you have an identity of victim mentality? Like you don't have control over this. Like it's, again, happening to you, or like you're a special unicorn that really is broken inside. You have to be willing to let go of that story that you're telling yourself over and over and over again. I promise you, if you want to be the victor of your life and you want to weigh what you want, you have to be willing to let go of the victim mentality. And that can be really hard for people, but it's so worth it. Let go of that. Be wrong about being a victim in this area of your life and then be right. Right? It's so awesome. What about, I'm just a foodie? You know, like we go to New York and we try all the restaurants, or this is like, you know, the whole point of travel. Guys, guess what? I consider myself a foodie. I was a foodie before I lost weight for the last time. I'm still a foodie. You can be a foodie. Being a foodie doesn't mean overeating to the point of feeling disgusting. Being a foodie doesn't mean you eat to soothe stress. No, seriously, it's so crazy. What about I'm just not worth it? This is a sneaky one. You might have an underlying identity that you're not worthy, that you're not good enough, that you're not worth the investment or the time, right? Interesting. Did you know that you are worth it? Did you know that this is just like innate? Did you know that like you just come valuable, like you're born valuable? Like when was the day that you became valuable? Like think of yourself as like this cute chubby baby. Oh my God, babies are so cute. What the heck? I'm like so into babies right now. They're so chubby and cute. How about like an 8-month-old? Don't you love an 8-month-old? My God, they're perfect, right? They're valuable. They're worthy. When did you stop being worthy? No, you came worthy. You're still worthy. You're still valuable. You're worth it. You really are. Like, it's not up for debate. Now, maybe you got some programming along the way, which is really just thoughts. And now that you know thoughts are choices, you can change it. Oh no, you know what? I am worth it. I am worth the investment of the time, the energy, the money. So you have to change the identities. This is a little bit tied to victim mentality. Do you have the identity of, I'm just somebody who like puts everybody in front of me? Like, I'm the mom of the household, like maybe a little bit of a people pleaser, right? You're number 42 on the list of things and people. You might have to be willing to adopt an identity where you put yourself first. And you might not want to do that because you might view that as selfish. I always say the first act of selflessness is selfishness, because then your cup is full and then you're authentically giving to the other people in your life. You're not doing it because you feel like you have to in order to earn your worthiness, right? So you have to be willing to put yourself first. And that can be really uncomfortable as you learn it, because some people don't want you to put yourself first. They want you to be number 42, because if you're 42, then they get you to do all the things for them. Can you guys see it? So you have to be willing to drop the people pleaser mentality, or at least part of it. And you guys, I want to be really clear. You can do this step by step. You can slowly ease your way into your new identity. Maybe you're just somebody who's had an identity of just habits that haven't served you, just like having nuts at 2:30 or having half a pint of ice cream at 9:30 p.m., whatever. And so what you can start to do is to adopt a new identity. I'm just somebody who's naturally thin. I'm just somebody who eats when they're hungry and stops when they're satiated, or even a touch before that. Isn't that cool? You can just be like, oh, there's the identity. Like, I was talking about this. I don't know if I was talking about this on the podcast last week with Laura Dixon, but she was in Arizona with me and we were talking about like just naturally thin people walking around the planet, right? It's so interesting. Let's just pretend to be them. You can just pretend to have their identity for a while. It really is fake it till you make it. Like, does your naturally thin friend go back for seconds and thirds? Does your naturally thin friend get dessert every single time? Does your naturally thin friend eat when she's not hungry? Does your naturally thin friend leave food on the plate? You can just practice being her. You can step into that identity. It's so cool. Okay, so there's some other things that you might have to be willing to be wrong about in order to be skinny that might not be attached to your identity. The identity ones are the hardest to let go of, but there's some other thoughts and beliefs that you might have to be willing to be wrong about in order to be skinny. Okay, so I'm going to talk through those, but the identity ones are huge because, again, your lower brain's job is to keep your identity the same, to keep everything the same, because that equals safety. But we're not here to do survival. That's what our lower brain's wired to do, to keep us alive, to survive. We're here for thrival. We're not here for survival. We're here for thrival. Who's here for thrival? Raise of hands. Who is here? Okay. So here's some other things that you might have to be willing to be wrong about. You might have to be willing to be wrong that you have to work out to lose weight. Some people will be like, well, I can't lose weight because I have to work out and I don't have enough time to work out. Guess what? You don't have to work out to lose weight. You can do it the Yummy Mummy experience way, which doesn't include working out. What about counting? Do you believe that you have to count things? Maybe something that starts with an M and ends with an S? What about calories? Do you believe it's calories in, calories out? You might have to be willing to be wrong about that there could be a new way. It might feel scary to try a new way. But you guys, the old way didn't work. It's so crazy. Be willing to try the new way. The new way from a physiological standpoint is to balance your hunger hormones, which I teach you to do. You might have to be willing to be wrong that you have to give up alcohol in order to lose weight. You can still drink alcohol and lose weight. For the last time, I just had a client that hit her goal and hit it early. Crazy. She was like blown away. And she's like, and I still have my nightly cocktail. It's amazing. What about chocolate? Or fill in the blank that you have to give up XYZ food. You have to be wrong. No, you can still have it. You can walk this middle path. You might have to be willing to be wrong that you need like a certain amount of protein in order to lose weight, or you have to eat it at a certain time or before your workout or after your workout. You might have to be willing, and we talked about this a little bit, to be wrong that like it's hard. Like it could be easy. Isn't that crazy? Like my clients all the time, they're like, okay, I lost weight for the last time and this was the easiest. Of all the times I've lost weight, number one, this is the last time. And it was the easiest. Psh, mind blown. What about, we talked about this one too, like you have to give up your social life or you have to like clear your calendar. You have to have like a pristine time frame. No. Be wrong about that. You can lose weight in your regular life and you should. What about that you have to starve yourself or deprive yourself? This was what that same client was saying. She hit her goal and she's like, and I did it in like a really healthy way. Like I cannot believe I saw this number. Normally, if I were to see this number, I would have believed that I would have had to starve myself. What about like your hormones are blocking you? You're going to have to be wrong about that. Your hormones are perfect. And, you know, maybe could they use some balancing? Yeah, and we're going to do that inside the Yummy Mummy experience. What about, oh my God, this is such a common one. Like, I just can't do that. Like, there's just no way. Like, there's no way I could give up sugar or flour or whatever. And I don't make you do any of those things, right? You choose what to do. But some of my clients will say that, like, I didn't believe I could actually do it. And now I'm free. I did it. I can't believe it. It's actually so much easier than I thought. And I'm so liberated because of it. So you have to be willing to be wrong about your ability to say no. You can say no, thank you. I'm going to teach you how. I'm going to teach you step by step, right? But you have to be willing to be wrong about that. You have to be willing to be wrong about the fact, or you think it's a fact, that you aren't worth spending money on. You're worth spending money on. All the money in the world. I promise you. The good thing about the Yummy Mummy experience is that the ROI is exponential. It's insane. It's freaking priceless. So you are worth it. You have to be willing to be wrong. It's going to be uncomfortable for you to start to believe that, like, what if I am worth it? I'm just going to play with believing that I am worth it. Wow. Mind-blowing. Isn't that mind-blowing, you guys? Mind-blowing. All right. What about, we talked about this, we touched on this a little bit, but like, you're going to have to be willing to be wrong about people are going to get mad at me because I'm going to say no, thank you, because I'm going to stop people-pleasing eating. Most people are not going to care. They literally will not care. You're going to have to be wrong that investing in you is selfish. I talked about that one. Okay, so remember, we hate being wrong as humans. We hate being wrong. We are designed to be right. Ever been in a quarrel or a tiff or a fight with your siggo? Yeah, you want to be right. I watch myself all the time. I'm like, who even cares? I don't even actually care. Actually, I just want to be like connected and like loving. Our lower brains think that being right, again, equals safety, and being wrong is a threat, and a threat equals death. Okay, so it makes perfect sense that you're very attached to these thoughts and beliefs and identities. So we will desperately prove ourselves to be right even when it keeps us stuck. Our brains will be desperate to keep us over here when we want to be over here at our dream come true weight. Isn't that crazy? Our brains will keep us weighing what we don't want to just to stay the same. We will defend our self-sabotaging beliefs to the end, but it doesn't serve us. It's sabotaging, right? So many of us are over here, staying stuck, being the same, being right to the detriment of our future selves and what our future selves are really, really wanting so bad, to be at our dream come true weight, to be free, to have the liberation, to have the relationship that we want with ourselves and our bodies, to be able to pass that down to our children. Isn't that crazy? Our lower brains are just they are like hanging on with the tightest grip. And we need to gently encourage them, our lower brains, to loosen the grip so we can have what we want. It will be uncomfortable. It's okay. It is worth it. You're already uncomfortable anyways, right? Okay, so let's just try being wrong for fun. If you decide you hate being wrong and skinny, you can go back to your old ways. If you would rather be right and not at your natural weight, you can go back. You don't have to stay wrong and skinny. I mean, eventually, you guys, you'll be skinny and you won't feel wrong anymore. You'll be like, oh, this is the right way to be. And your lower brain will get on board. It just takes a second for your lower brain to be like, okay, you're right. We are safe. And you can remind your lower brain. I'm talking about this a lot on social media lately. It is safe to want to be skinny or thin or your natural weight, whatever. It is safe to be that as well. It is safe. So what if you are wrong about who you've been, about who you are, about who you should be, about your thoughts, about your beliefs? And what if this is the best news ever? What if you really can see yourself in a new way and become a different person, right? Those people that you admire, whatever they've created, right? If it's a business or a body or a family or a house or a thing in their lives, they had to be willing to give up old identities, shed the snakeskin, so to speak. So pick from what we've talked about, or maybe you've sparked your own ideas. What are you willing to be wrong about? I would really love to know, actually. So again, it's your choice, right and miserable or wrong and skinny. This weight loss thing can be easy and fun and completely doable. I promise you. If you are not on the wait list for the Yummy Mummy Experience, 6 months to losing weight for the last time, through coaching and coursework, make sure you're on my list, lauraconley.com. All you do is hit work with me. And if you want to join me, I'm hosting a free masterclass on thriving through the holidays. It's going to be so fun. It's December 8th. It's at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. And we're going to be talking about how to not gain a fuck ton of weight during the holidays, how to not feel gross and during the holidays, how to overcome overwhelm during the holidays, and how to actually really enjoy the holidays and the people in them. And there will be a fun surprise. So this is December 8th, 10 a.m. Pacific, 11 a.m. Mountain, 12 p.m. Central, 1 p.m. Eastern. Okay, so let's go. All you have to do is go to lauraconley.com/class and sign up there. You do have to sign up. I'll send you the link. We're going to do it on Zoom. You can do it when you're driving. You can do it when you're walking. You can do it when you're cleaning the kitchen. Come to this masterclass if you're like, oh my God, I don't have enough time because it's like the holidays. You guys, this class is going to buy you at least 2 times the amount you invest. So if you come to this class, it'll be about an hour, 45 minutes. Then guess what? You're going to buy yourself back at least 2 hours. That is my promise to you. So you are going to want to be there. You're going to want to be there live, especially if you want that fun surprise at the end. I'm so excited to offer that to you. So if you're my client, you can totally come to this class. If you're my client, you're totally losing weight during the holidays. Like you just are. You're on autopilot. You're dialed. If you are newer to me or you're not my client yet, I just want to talk about enjoying the holidays and not gaining a shit ton of weight that you have to then work off on January 2nd. Okay. And I want you to feel good, right? So let's not worry about 5 pounds right now because there's so many other things in our lives right now. What I want to focus on right now is just not gaining a fuck ton of weight and enjoying the holidays for now. You'll set this beautiful foundation for when you do start the Yummy Mummy Experience or you do start your weight loss journey in January. It'll just be so much easier and so much more fun. So don't dig yourself like an 8-mile hole into the ground, right? That you have to dig yourself out of. Let's have fun this holiday season. So make sure you go sign up. We'll see you over there. And we are, for those of you that are on the wait list for the Yummy Mummy Experience, again, you can check out my website and you can learn about the Yummy Mummy Experience. If you're like, what is the Yummy Mummy Experience? You can learn about it. You just go to my website, lauraconley.com, you click work with me. And what's so cool is that you can read, like there's literally every question that I've ever been asked is on there. You can read all about it and you can sign up for the wait list because the people on the wait list are going to get a fun bonus as well. So that is our episode. I hope you have the absolute best week ever, and I will see you next week. Hey, if you've enjoyed listening to this podcast, I would love it if you leave a rate, review, and a subscribe on whatever you're listening to this podcast in. Pretty pleased with a cherry on top. It would help me so much, and it would help all the other mamas out there hear this message. Thank you in advance. I really appreciate it. And you have to come check out the Yummy Mummy experience. It's my proven lose weight for the last time group coaching and course. Head to lauraconley.com and just click work with me. Other than that, you guys, I would love to give you a free gift. If you want your free listener only gift, go to lauraconley.com/gift. And from there, you will get your free best ever weight loss hack. So cool. The last thing I want to tell you, you guys, is I do have a free Facebook group. It's called, you guessed it, the Yummy Mummy. Lose weight for the last time, end body drama, and get food freedom. You can just search that in Facebook, or again, you can head to the show notes and you'll find the link there. All right, you guys, have the best day ever.